Tuesday morning, it's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com, 845, sunny day, beautiful day for a walk, as Indiana Borough Police Chief Justin Schawl just reminded me. He walked on his visit with us this morning. Our visit presented by Marcus & Mack, voted Best Law Firm and Best Personal Injury Lawyer 3 years in a row in the Best of Indiana County contest. Visit them online at marcusandmack.com. Boy, how do you ever get into an office when you have a day like today, huh?
It was a great day to walk downtown, and I'm happy to be here. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Summertime has a whole different feel to it, doesn't it?
Oh, it really does.
Yeah. Is it that way in police work too?
Well, as a resident, I think that there's an optimism.
Yeah.
When you wake up and it's a beautiful day, you feel like, we're going to conquer the world. So I think that bleeds over for sure into our professional lives. But it's tough to be down on a day that's beautiful.
Sure.
And we have some high temperatures here coming, or at least some warmer temps that aren't familiar to Indiana, or at least haven't been in a while. So plenty of reason to be optimistic this morning about the outlook for folks getting out and about.
Yeah. All right. Summertime brings a lot more outdoor activities. With those activities, there come certain dangers that we have to acknowledge and be cautious about. And one of those, and chiefly for me, is kids on bicycles, kids that are crossing the street unexpectedly. We really have to be extra watchful now, don't we?
Yeah, we really do. Summer months, although the weather's beautiful, and clearly we have some better line of sight for sure, but patience sometimes becomes the issue, both for motorists and for the students and our young folks. And our attention spans are shorter. Mm-hmm. We're distracted by more things. And so it's difficult. We rely on each other to make best decisions. But the reality also is that we can't just be alone in that. I could do everything right and still be involved in a terrible situation due to somebody else's distraction or someone else's disinterest in doing the right thing. So with an increased crowds that we're going to have downtown, with increased pedestrian traffic, with increased vehicle traffic, we need to have more patience. Mm-hmm. And we need to be doing the right things. So we need to cross safely at intersections. We need to be yielding right away in crosswalks. We need to be, extending grace when grace can be extended. I've said time and time again, we can do good investigations, but the way to maintain a safe community is to prevent the bad from happening in the first place. And if we as a police department, we as a community can prevent those negative things from happening, we're far more ahead of the game than we are by being able to investigate them or prosecute them in the back end. Now, that doesn't work for everyone. Enforcement is still a significant component of what we do. We've increased our traffic enforcement efforts to make sure in the borough that we're doing absolutely everything that we can in addition to education and enforcement. But we want to prevent it. I don't want to investigate it.
Indiana Borough, of course, is blessed in that parents can feel pretty safe that their kids can get over to Mack Park if they're of a certain age without any problems. But that makes South 6th Street a particularly dangerous place to be for those kids crossing that road, which, people move along that road pretty quick.
Yes.
And so we have to be extra cautious in that particular corridor.
We do. We have some corridors that through town that are more heavily traveled: Philadelphia Street, Oakland Avenue, South 6th Street. Speed limits on those roads sometimes reach 35 miles an hour, which creates an issue too. So we really do. We have to be careful. But everyone, we know what a great community this is. We want everyone to thrive. We want to make sure that we're plugged into the success of the community, and so we want to make sure that this is on everyone's radar as they move through the summer. We're going to be, again, being distracted. We're going to be looking forward to a swimming pool, but we have to get there safely.
Yeah.
And we need to give each other a lot of patience in that. And we also need to support the men and women who are out here doing the job of trying to enforce and educate our community, because, summer months present unique challenges for the police department. We have our own families. These officers have, lives outside of work too, although we're fully dedicated to the safety of Indiana Borough. We all want to be working on the same page, because that's how we maintain a safe community.
Indiana Borough Police Chief Justin Schawl with us this morning. And speaking of distractions, Pennsylvania has a new distracted driving law. You certainly are very much interested in how to approach that law and how people should.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think it's the Paul Miller law, if I'm thinking correctly on that. And certainly, distracted driving, we've been taking efforts towards combating distracted driving for quite some time. This isn't necessarily a new topic, but the law gives us another chance. This law gives us another chance to continue education, continue enforcement, and to redouble our efforts on distracted driving. Because certainly everything avoidable we need to avoid, everything preventable we need to prevent. Time spent in those areas is much more beneficial to everybody than, like I said, time spent reacting to a negative event when it happens. So again, we have to put the cell phones down in the cars. You know, we're all guilty of this. I'm not standing here talking about something that is I'm immune from or that my family's immune from. I see it all the time. We're listening to the radio now on our cell phone that's plugged into our car. So we're no longer just pushing a button on the dash. Sometimes we're navigating a cell phone, and so, you know, it can seem harmless, but it only takes an instant for something negative or tragic to happen. And again, that's why education is so important. And sometimes we have to enforce to educate, but the education component cannot be second. It has to be first, because, you know, this is important to everyone. You have a much better opportunity to prevent a crash from the driver's seat of your car than I do with a police car parked on the side of the road monitoring traffic.
Yeah. Yeah. Are people going to be surprised by how extensive that law is? You can't sit at a traffic light and have the cell phone in your hand.
Yeah, I think you know, as far as the education goes, I don't know that all the finer points of that law. I've seen it on the news, but the finer points of the law, you know, there are going to be some set behaviors that the police are going to be looking out for. And so there may be some more frequent stops, or you may be sitting at a red light to your perspective, and you know, someone may be watching you on a phone, or you know, demonstrating a distracted driving behavior, and then you may be stopped immediately from a seated position, right? From a stop position, you may not get very far. And so, you know, we need to continue building positive relationships, first of all, because the police department needs your trust. We need your trust to be successful, not just, you know, your trust as I'm talking to you, but we need the community's trust in our effort. You know, negative things happen when there's a lack of trust. And so we want to make sure that we are not faceless or nameless in the community, and we don't want you to feel that just because you're stopped by the Indiana Borough Police that we are considering you a bad person. You know, we're all doing things to plug in for each other. And so there may be some unexpected stops. We need your patience. You'll be explained at the window, you know, what the stop was for. So that's what we're working towards.
Mm-hmm. People are afraid they're going to be getting massive tickets all of a sudden as well.
Well,
and for most part, I think most police agencies say, we're just going to warn you for now.
Yeah, and that's the strategy. Again, education, enforcement's always everything. So it could be a warning, could be a citation. There's not a guarantee of how that enforcement effort's going to go. You know, heightened anxiety. It is stress inducing when a police officer in uniform is behind you. I recognize that. It is stress inducing when a police officer approaches your window. I recognize that. But the encounters can be highly positive, and we can plug in for each other in the right ways. And, you know, that again is my path to creating a successful community and a safe community here in Indiana Borough. And we have great folks in the Indiana Borough Police Department, great folks at the District Attorney's Office, Sheriff's Department, State Police, IUP Police. We're a community that's blessed to have compassionate, highly skilled police professionals who are out here truly working towards the best interest of the community in everything that we do.
Summertime is festival season in Indiana as well. There are all kinds of things that are happening all the time. And, you know, it can be a great big thing that shuts down a street. It can be something that happens at IRMC Park on North 7th, just a Wednesday night concert or something of that nature. And obviously, police want to be a presence so that people know that they're there protecting them. But also so that people know that their police are their friends and neighbors who are out and enjoying the weather with them as well, and just there for safety of all.
Well, 100%. We're there to protect and support every lawful gathering that occurs in Indiana Borough. Indiana Borough is a community of special events. We've prided ourselves on that as a community for several years. The police department certainly is working in concert with that. But we also know that larger gatherings create their own safety risks. There are folks that are looking to monopolize on a gathering where someone's guard might be down, or the anonymity of a moment to conduct a negative or nefarious act. And so we need to be vigilant for that. we see in the news all the time where gatherings are targeted, and so we need to be very proactive to make sure that we're doing everything that we possibly can do to provide the best possible service to our community. And then we have to be skilled enough to know that when those issues do present themselves, because certainly tragedy and strife is not unavoidable. If it were, I'd sleep better at night, but it is not. So in those moments where there's a true harm occurring, the police department has to be skilled and ready to take action. Sometimes that means an ultimate sacrifice, and other times that means other things, but we take our jobs very seriously, and we're always honored to serve.
When you get to the summer of the year, of course, your long police career, you haven't always been the chief, so you've worked every shift. You know what it's like. Nighttime is a different animal than daytime, and Indiana Borough Police, the entire force, you're certainly aware of that. But generally, when they come to work, they're looking forward to it, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, positive attitudes are important. High morale is important. I can't always control morale from the chief's seat, but I encourage our community to thank their police officers when they see them. We are truly here 24/7, 365. Holidays, while you're sleeping, it's a necessary effort, and I want to make sure that the officers too, or every officer is experiencing a high quality of life, or the highest quality of life that they can too. So, while families are vacationing over the summer, your officers want to be vacationing over the summer. And some days where there are special events that need protected, maybe there's a personal endeavor that needs to be set aside by the officer who's working that event. And all these things, we understand what we sign up for in our profession, but working midnight, I encourage everyone to try that a little bit, maybe for a week or two at a time. And at 6 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning, you reach a point where it's really, you're trying to keep composed in all things, and we do an excellent job of that.
It's a special time. It really is. And the overnights, I love them, and I love that early morning. All right, so the big question for Indiana Borough Police Chief Justin Schawl, who has the best bicycle legs on the Indiana Borough Police Force?
I'm going to decline to comment on that. I haven't seen enough officers out there, but anyone that's willing to put on bike shorts is confident enough to do the job. So,
well, I was talking about their ability to pedal the bike, not how good
there we
look.
go. There we go.
Because I know Slavinsky, he's a big biker.
Yeah,
he likes to bicycle.
We're trying to make this as it's a popular an issue as we can. So the electric bicycle's gone a long way to building confidence for folks who can be out there. But the bike's not. We don't use it nearly enough, but that's something we want to do over the summer.
You have e-bikes on the force?
We do.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. That's nice, isn't it?
Well, I don't ride bicycle anymore, so I can't speak firsthand, but it looks convenient. More convenient than pedaling uphill.
Chief Schawl, have a great summer.
Thank you, you too.
It's Indiana in the Morning, and it's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160.